Did you know that the Biden administration are expediting work permits for new migrants who recently arrived in the U.S.? Let's talk all about that, and we're going to talk all about parole authority. The Biden administration is using the parole authority to issue work permits. All right, so recently in Chicago, this started last week. A lot of people don't know this. The Biden administration is working together with humanitarian entities in Chicago to help expedite work permits for newly arrived migrants. The new policy says that any migrant who entered the U.S. before July of 2023, they can go to a center that they have set up in Chicago. They can have background checks taken, fingerprints taken, and actual fee waivers issued so they don't have to pay the exorbitant fee for the I-765 work authorization permit. So again, this is currently happening in Chicago, folks. From what I understand, they're supposed to expand this to other cities. New York has already done it. It's coming to California, Boston, etc. They are going to have this pilot program whereby individuals who have pending asylums or who have been paroled into the U.S., we'll talk about that in a little bit, they can get expedited work permits. How long are we talking about, folks? I don't really know at this point, but I would say they're probably going to be issued within, 60 days, 60 to 90 days, knowing immigration, as opposed to 6 months. Why are they doing this? They're doing this because there is a need. There is a need for these recently arrived migrants to be able to have work permits to work and to fill jobs in certain areas and cities where there's a need. Hey, YouTube family and GN subs, remember to press that subscription button. Watch it blow up. All right, so let's talk about how this is done. This is called 212D5. That's the law. It's parole authority, okay? I put a link in the description box below. That is a great article that talks about all the different types of paroles one can have in the U.S. So what the Biden administration has done recently, very smart, he's used the parole authority to be able to issue work permits and parole individuals into the United States. The law is very clear with respect to this parole authority. It's been around forever. USCIS can issue paroles, ICE can issue paroles, CBP can issue paroles, immigration judges can issue paroles. So this has been around, folks, for a very, very long time. You can parole an individual into the United States if you can demonstrate significant public benefit or humanitarian reason. You can parole an individual into the United States. It's considered an inspection and admission. It is a lawful entry. Individuals, again, can get work authorization if they are paroled into the United States. Here's what I'm hearing, folks. Heard it from me first. The 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States right now, the administration is thinking about using the parole authority to parole them into the U.S. Why? It's a public benefit, right? There's a problem in the cities. You look at the big cities, you look at the recently arrived migrants, let alone the undocumented aliens. You look at the jobs that are needed to be filled by these undocumented individuals can benefit the public. So what I understand is Biden may be able to parole them into the United States. They will be able to get work authorizations, and this will benefit the U.S. economy. Now, note, a parole is not providing permanent resident status for individuals. It is a temporary status to fix a certain problem. So what's been happening recently with the parole program? How is the Biden administration using this parole program to admit individuals? So there's humanitarian, right? There's Ukraine, there's going to be Palestine, there's Cameroon, countries where there is conflicts, Nicaragua, etc. That's the humanitarian parole. You parole individuals on a humanitarian basis. Family reunification. Again, what Biden has done, if you have a family petition that's been approved and you have a family member that's waiting outside of the U.S. and they have many more years to wait, they can be paroled into the United States to be with their family. What is the public benefit? The public benefit is now they're not going to come across illegally if they are from a certain country, okay? We've had military parole in place. So if your family member is here illegally and they need to be admitted and inspected so that they can file adjustment of status, if your family member's in the military, you can have what's called a parole in place. They will parole you legally into the United States. You're able to work, and then you're able to file your adjustment and get a green card. So Parole has been around for quite some time. Now, what it is not, it's not deferred inspection. For example, DACA, right? It's deferred inspection. That is an executive order. It's not based on the law. It's based on discretion where the executive branch, the president, can issue deferred action. That's why we've been losing those cases in court, right? Because it's an executive order. It should be based on the parole authority. I understand that Biden wants to grant dreamers, that's the DACA, kids, they want to provide parole so that they can be paroled into the United States. Now they've been admitted legally, and then they can work on getting their green card subsequently. So these are the tools the Biden administration is using to expedite work permits. I think it's fantastic, folks. And again, take a read in the description box below. It's a really good article that talks about a lot of the different paroles. And great. Hey, thanks so much for watching GrayLaw TV. Click below, like and subscribe, blow up the subscription button, and I would appreciate that. Go to my playlist. Some great stuff, content that is absolutely organized. You can learn a lot from the playlist. I get comments all the time. Thank you, Mr. Gray, for that. And you can always get me at hrg@graylaw.com, and we'll see you next time.